Welcome to TMZ Live. So on the surface, Justin Baldoni said something pretty shocking during a rehearsal for the show for which he is now being sued.
The movie, It Ends With Us. Yes.
He said, sorry, I missed the sexual harassment course.
That sounds really bad when you remember that this whole thing started with Blake Lively accusing him of sexual harassment on the set while they made this movie. So what's shocking is this video, which we're about to play for you, was submitted in the case by Justin Baldoni himself.
And when you dig down, there is a reason Justin submitted it.
Right.
And I think it's an important reason.
So what you're about to see is they're getting ready to shoot a scene in a bar. This is behind the scenes footage. You're gonna hear a lot of voices, but you will hear Justin there. Blake is standing off to the right.
I think it's important to talk.
Jenny Slate is there.
It's important to talk wardrobe. As you watch this, realize they're all in PJs.
Right. This scene was the scene in the movie. If you haven't seen it, they're in the bar. Everyone is wearing pajamas, I guess, to get free drinks, I'm told. I haven't seen the movie. But anyway, that's the context. But listen to what he says, and then we'll break down why this actually could help him in this case.
All right. We should go. Ready?
All right. Somebody lock it up.
Toothpick, please. Viv, do you have a toothpick?
Yeah, right here.
Thank you. Ready, everyone. High energy. Have fun. That's the most important thing. Everybody, you're in a bar. Have fun, right?
Two pages. Yes, Wednesday. What this guy just get trapped.
So with this, he was joking. I mean, he says sexy because it wasn't sexy, and it was kind of a joke.
Making a joke like we're all standing around in onesies, oversized onesies.
And then he tells the joke, which I've heard a million times. Oh, I missed the sexual harassment training. And so what it really shows, not only was it a joke, but Blake seemed cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, she's saying...
At the end of the whole exchange.
It's all good at the end of the exchange where it obviously lingered with him and he said, I just want to make clear that I'm apologizing. She says it's all good. It's also used in his documents as, look at this context. We're in a crowded bar scene. Was I openly sexually harassing my co-star in a crowded bar scene? Some of her allegations, though, come up outside of this context. I think this will ultimately be helpful for him, but some of them are, talking about her breastfeeding more privately, going into her dressing room.
Those are
her allegations.
And he has an answer to that. He says she invited me into that trailer when she was doing that.
So he has different answers for different things.
But the bigger thing is there is a scene that Blake improvised.
The kissing scene.
The kissing scene.
There's a scene at a hospital where part of his argument in getting this case thrown out is that Blake wasn't just an employee on this set. She controlled it. She doctored the script. She improvised on her own. And there's a scene where she's kissing him and it wasn't in the script.
And so if you think about it, if the shoe were on the other foot and he had done that, this would be Exhibit A in her lawsuit.
Well, his point is, at the time when that hospital scene was shot, that was after she had made the allegations on set. There was a big meeting between the entire crew where they talked about new boundaries, and they said there would be no more improvising. And he's making the point that even after that meeting, in a scene that she wrote, she's improvising a kiss.
And not just improvising a kiss.
That's right. His larger point is it's rich for you to say I was improvising in a sexually harassing way when you were the only one improvising on set to kiss me.
So this case is headed for trial next year. And I got to say that, everybody's talking nuclear option now with politics. The nuclear option in this case is if Blake actually takes it to trial, Justin is going to call Taylor Swift to the stand. I have no doubt about it. And when Taylor Swift testified...
Because remember, she ended up being at Blake and Ryan Reynolds' home when Justin had come over to talk about the script, and
according to Taylor, she was set up by Blake to show up then because Taylor had no idea that Justin was going to be there.
Right.
And she feels totally betrayed by Blake. If that comes out on the stand, that Blake Lively betrayed Taylor Swift, There is no jury, I
It does
believe.
not cut well with a jury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
good luck. I mean, this is the
Good
most popular
luck.
person on earth, potentially.
So what does she
telling
do?
a jury.
So what does she do? Does she try to settle it? How do you settle it at this
Well,
point?
you're saying she has to settle it because that nuclear option is out there, but she's been winning a lot of these battles along the way. His whole offensive suit against her is out the window. This is just Blake's lawsuit, and so she's won a lot of the legal battles, but you're right, there's what's looming is this Taylor problem she has in front of a jury.
What ultimately matters is, does she win or lose the war? Does she win
In court,
anything
in front of a jury,
if
right.
a jury says sorry?
It's a great point.
Hey there, Charles Perallo calling from New York. And really, where is the welcome to hell moment from all this? We've seen so much footage from this movie, so many things have come out, and yet there's no moment where these two actors ever seem uncomfortable. This seems like a really friendly moment. It looks like she's laughing at the joke. We see that kiss scene going on in the movie, and it seems fine, but somehow this is justifying a $161 million lawsuit on a movie that made a ton of money. If they stayed in, they would have made a fortune working together on the sequel, but that's never going to happen. And yeah, this lawsuit just looks like a giant joke right now.
I think it's a disaster for everybody in this.
I don't know how anybody backs out of this now. Britney Spears had a little sleepover, or looked like a sleepover. It was not a sleepover, but she did have some fun hanging out in a bed with Kim Kardashian and Khloe Kardashian. How in the world this little pajama party came together, I really don't know.
Well,
But
I do know
we know something about what Britney, a change perhaps in Britney's life, but I would never have seen this coming. But here are the
And then I got some
three of them, and
I got some details.
The guy, by the way, is Cade Hudson, who is Britney's manager, who was also there. So here's some of their little fun.
Oh, we're just chilling.
In our geriatric bed.
Yeah. This bed vibrates. What the? What the? What's up, baby? Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2,
3.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Kids
so
were
wait.
performing a little dance routine that maybe Britney had taught them.
So she's, Cade put this together. Cade knows
And
everybody in town.
this is at, it's either Kim or Khloe's house.
It's at Kim or Khloe's house.
Yeah.
So he put it together, but she wants to circulate more. She's been really isolated since the conservatorship ended. And she,
I mean,
that's
a good thing.
I've been told some stuff that can't say, but she's kind of had a little bit of an awakening. Now, that said, she still has this underlying mental illness,
right.
which is not her fault, but she's
but sitting
also
in isolation
conscious.
is definitely not helping that.
And she's
And
conscious.
helping-
She's
yeah.
conscious of that right now.
Right.
So she wants to get out.
And it's great to see her getting out and like having like a fun girls' night. There are photos of Kim and Britney from the past. Like they've taken photos together and have known each other for quite some time. So it's not like super random. But Britney did post some of the photos and videos herself, and she captioned it basically saying, "Such a warm, beautiful, kind family. Thank you for allowing me to play with your kids and dinner. It was an honor to spend time with you guys. Happy holidays."
So funny because in 2005 when we started, Kim was just a wannabe.
That's back when Britney was hanging out with Lindsay Lohan,
Paris
and
Hilton.
Paris Hilton,
And they were the
Right.
A-list people.
and Kim was not part of that scene.
Wanted to be desperately,
Yes.
but wasn't.
And very shortly after she was, but it is interesting that now, 20 years later,
Tables turned.
yes, quite a bit.
Hi, my name is Gianna Colucci. I'm a lawyer from Cleveland, Ohio. My thoughts on this are, she's on the internet posting about studying for the bar exam and being so devoted, and I'm so here for that. I love that for her, and I hope she passes. But this video of her, being in bed with Britney and everything like that, it is kind of odd to me. I don't want to get into the conservatorship stuff, but if Kim truly is devoting her time to studying for the bar exam, kudos to her. But if she's out having fun with Britney and Khloe, I was studying all day, every day. So I
Oh, give
can't
me a
speak-
break.
can't-
You're a lawyer.
You're allowed to.
Did you ever do anything other than do a bar review course when you were studying for the bar exam?
I did about 12 hours a day, but mind you, I'm a mom too. So I really wanted to pass and be devoted. So I didn't actually have a lot of time with friends, but I'm not going to hold her too accountable for this, but it is a little out of a video, I have to say.
You just gave me PTSD over that, because I remember I did study around 12 hours a day, too.
Coming up.
Well, in just a matter of days, things have changed dramatically at the White House.
Days?
Yeah.
No, a nanosecond.
Nanosecond.
Overnight.
The president had spent all of last week urging Republicans to not vote to release the Epstein files. Suddenly, last night, he said, you know what? You should vote for this.
Be right back.
Well, in just a matter of days, things have changed dramatically at the White House.
Days?
Yeah.
No, a nanosecond.
Nanosecond.
Overnight. Overnight.
It's true.
This last night.
The president had spent all of last week
and the week
most of
before, and the
weekend,
month before that, and the month before that,
urging Republicans to not vote to release the Epstein files, to block this. And suddenly, last night, he said, you know what? You should vote for this. A little bit of what he said, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. And it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care.
So let me just explain why this is so ridiculous. Number one, if he really wants to release it, he has the power to. The Justice Department can just release it.
Do it right now.
Believe me, if he told Pam Bondi to release the files, she would. She would do anything he says. Secondly, more important is what's really going on here. He has a massive defection on his hands in the House, that there were going to be a slew of Republicans, despite Donald Trump's best efforts, who are going to vote to release it. And then the signal is that there is a major fracture in MAGA. And he knows that. In fact, he knows it so well that yesterday he said what anybody says when they lose control of their group, which is, I'm the one who created MAGA. It's my MAGA. That's when you know you're losing your mind.
True, it's his movement, so
but
it's a fact.
He's lost his grip.
He has
lost.
That's not.
I don't know if it's fair to say that he's lost.
He's lost his grip.
He's definitely lost them on this issue and maybe a couple of others.
Well, Babcock and I looked at the polls this morning. He's lost on this in a big way. He's lost in the economy. He has lost on immigration even. I showed you these polls.
There's a couple polls where he's like 2-3 points underwater.
No, not a couple.
You're acting like he's at Joe Biden levels
he's
of
not
defection.
Joe Biden.
Okay.
He's not a Joe Biden.
Here's the reality. I wrote some stuff down. Democrats, first of all, did not care about this until they thought that it could have hurt Trump. Joe Biden, you might remember, speaking of, was president for 4 years. No one said a damn word back then about releasing these documents.
You're
because,
right.
Again, they didn't care. Only when it involves hurting Trump. That's the only thing. So if anybody out there thinks that the Democrats care about children or what might have happened to these poor women, nonsense. It's just about hurting Donald Trump.
Can't argue you.
Okay. I do agree it has, I think, reached a tipping point where he can't stop it anymore. I think if you're Donald...
and you've got to admit, that's why he's doing this.
Of course. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, I don't disagree.
But it's embarrassing that he thinks that nobody's going to understand and realize that. It's embarrassing.
Right. This whole part of I have nothing to hide and I don't care. Well, then why didn't you just release the files?
I think he should have. I'm with you, Charles. I think the whole time he should have just said, "Hey, look, if there was something in there that was going to, to destroy me, they would have done it years ago."
But then why isn't he releasing the file?
Right. I think that's a great question.
Why is he doing somersaults? Why is he calling Lauren Boebert into the situation room to change her vote?
I think he thought he was powerful enough that he could just force it out of the way.
Why?
You said he thought he was powerful enough.
Right.
So you're admitting that he's not quite that powerful.
With this, he wasn't strong enough to just blow it out of the water.
What is in this file that has him so
scared? We are going to be horribly disappointed. I just have this feeling that
but you know what people are going to say?
Disappointed.
There's something in that file, Charles. I'm not saying he didn't.
I know you're not.
Because again, I've talked to two people who have seen this file, and they say there's nothing untoward about it.
Alan Dershowitz was his attorney. He says there's nothing that involves Trump.
No, he has mentioned multiple times.
We knew they were friends.
I think, listen, here's what I think. It's going to show that Donald Trump knew what Jeffrey Epstein was up to for many, many years before this broke.
I think that the emails that the estate submitted last week seem to be far more revealing about.
But we don't know.
certain things.
We haven't seen the emails the Justice Department has. So there's something in it that he really doesn't want people to see.
I'm Lindsay from St. Louis. I have a lot of opinions about the Epstein files and Trump. I think that he is just doing lip service right now. I honestly don't think that he wants these to be released. He's called these files fake. He said that they don't exist. Now, all of a sudden, he's like, release them. Even last week, I think he said that the Republicans were foolish for wanting to release these. So, like, why is he wanting to release them right now? I think it's all just like a big show of hands. Like, oh, I'm innocent. Go ahead and release them. But behind the scenes, I don't think he's going to have these released. I really don't think so.
It sounds like he's going to do everything he can not to.
But the one thing I would say is, by saying what he has said now about the House, if it does get to his desk, he can't veto it. He can't veto it. I mean, I know he can.
Naive Charles.
I know he can. Megan Thee Stallion is getting her day in court. Once again, she is in the middle of suing a blogger who she says has been continually going after her, defaming her, and she believes that Tory Lanez is behind the scenes sort of pulling the strings here. The trial is starting today, but there's something that Megan has not gotten that she has desperately been trying to get, and that is a deposition from Tory Lanez, and it finally reached a point where the judge had to step in. Tory Lanez and his attorney have been found in contempt. Because he refuses to sit. 3 times they tried to get him.
He barged out.
And he would not do it. I mean, and the last time they said his attorney was also being deflecting all of this, so they were both found in contempt.
This is like Basic Instinct with Sharon Stone, where, you know, she's being accused of a murder, and they tell her to put a cigarette, and then she says, "What are you going to do? Arrest me for smoking?"
Right.
And he's already in prison. He's in prison already.
Well, he's going to be fine, right? He's going to have to,
especially for the lawyer. The lawyer could really suffer some fines here because the lawyer was found to have not instructed her client to actually comply with the deposition questioning. So it's tough sitting in depositions, and Tory doesn't think he has to do it.
It really feels like Tory Lanez doesn't want to talk about his relationship with this blogger.
So eventually what'll happen, right, is if he refuses to answer questions, the judge will just find in favor of the blogger without a trial.
In favor of the blogger, in favor of Megan.
In favor of Megan.
Right.
Sorry, in favor of Megan without a trial.
We'll not do that because...
Well, the trial has started today.
But no. It's not Tory that's being sued. It's the blogger. So you can't say that she's going to win because a witness won't testify.
Oh, you're right. If he's not being sued, then what, he'll just get sanctioned, and it'll be a lot, too. I mean, you could really hit him.
No, he'll be sanctioned, but they're not going to dismiss the case. He's a witness. That's it.
Megan has claimed that this blogger, Malago Grams, has been just going after her, putting out all sorts of, she says, defamatory statements about her after the
but
Tory
whether
trial.
or not Tory's behind it, the statements are being made, right? I understand why she wants to talk to him, but it doesn't seem to be essential to the case of whether or not
she may be able to prove this without
Well,
Tory,
what's essential...
she has some receipts. We've seen, at least in documents they filed.
And what's essential to the case is that if Tory was really the one who was doing it, Tory has so much animus toward Megan that it's going to almost show punitive damages and the whole thing.
Coming up.
Well, OJ Simpson's estate kind of playing a little bit of let's make a deal. And they have struck one with probably his most famous creditor. Fred Goldman has now submitted a claim for $57 million to the estate, and the estate has accepted it.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say look at the water? I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Well, OJ Simpson's estate is kind of playing a little bit of let's make a deal. And they have struck one with probably his most famous creditor. You know that there have been, when OJ died, all the creditors lined up to try and get the money that was owed to them from his estate. Fred Goldman has now submitted a claim for $57 million to the estate, and the estate has accepted it. Now,
it's about half of what is due Fred Goldman based on a judgment back in 1995, which was $33 million, but it ballooned because OJ didn't pay Fred during the rest of his life.
Right. So joining us right now to talk about the money that will eventually, we believe, get to Fred Goldman is the executor of OJ's estate, Malcolm Laverne. Malcolm, welcome back to TMZ Live.
Thank you for having me on.
So, Malcolm, the first thing that really struck me here is how liquid is this estate? Because I did not think it had anywhere near that kind of money.
Harvey, the reality is the state currently doesn't have that kind of money, and practically the state probably will never have that kind of money. That's not the evaluation for how to accept Fred Goldman's estate. The evaluation is how much is it worth and whether it's valid. And it's worth the $58 million plus interest from February of 2021 to today. And seems to be the controversy. It's way more than $58 million. There just has to be an accurate computation of what the interest is, which could be another, frankly, 25 to 30 million. Because of the huge public interest in it, I think I'm going to go calculate it right now to see what it is. But it's significantly more than $58 million as of today's date.
So why did Fred Goldman then submit a claim for only that $57 million? As we said, it's certainly, and as you even admitted, certainly much more than that he's owed. Is this a case of Fred just saying, look, let me try to get what I can? So he submitted a lower number?
No, it's kind of legalese. Fred Goldman originally submitted a maximum claim of $117 million. As you guys know, this started in a California state court, and Fred is basing his $117 million off of that California state court decision. But Fred Goldman also filed a Nevada claim in 2021. That's where OJ lived. That's where he died. That Nevada judgment was still valid, and that Nevada judgment at the time it was filed was only $58 million. So we're going to start with the $58 million, and we're going to calculate up to whenever it's satisfied. And I will go through and try and get a computation to today's date. So that $58 million could really turn into $80, $90 million very easily after I finish the computations.
But it's really funny money because the estate just doesn't have that. You know, you represented Simpson for many years before he died and now after. And OJ Simpson not only made a point that he wasn't going to pay Fred Goldman, but said some really horrible things about him. And everybody should remember, he killed Fred Goldman's son, Ron. And so it's just interesting the position you're in right now, which on the one hand is to say, well, we're going to pay him now that Simpson is dead. But I guess on the other hand, it's all funny money because Fred's never going to get that.
Well, practically speaking, that full judgment is probably not going to be paid. You know, there's no denying that. But what can happen are several things. Your points you make some really good points, and let me try and address all of them. Yes, there was a civil jury that said OJ was involved in this and paid Fred Goldman and some other creditors a lot of money.
No, not involved. Killed Ron and Nicole.
He was 12 jurors unanimously found that OJ was responsible for the wrongful death of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Lloyd Goldman via the theory of battery. Yes, that's exactly what the jury said. And as a result of that, they said, pay this man and pay all these families. They said, pay them money. There were plans. There actually were internal efforts to say, let's try and cut a deal with Fred Goldman. And you're right. There's nothing else to describe this other than acrimonious. What has changed now is the law has changed. The law has changed, and I'm the executor of the state. When OJ was alive, yes, Fred Goldman had a judgment, but OJ Simpson had tremendous exemptions. The laws, before OJ passed, these were not special laws designed to protect OJ. The laws said, yes, you can have a judgment against OJ, but OJ is exempt basically from anything that you can get from him. Pensions, IRAs, all that good stuff, anything. So Fred's options were limited. Once OJ died, however, those exemptions went away. And there's no other exemptions for OJ to have. And so once you find a creditor that has a value that exceeds the estate, which at this point is still less than $1 million, I'm having a hard time getting people to turn over property that belongs to the state. We'll deal with that later. Once OJ dies now, Fred has a $60 million claim even before interest calculation that's sufficient to liquidate the estate. So we're dealing with a liquidation estate. The law has changed. There's no doubt about it, and I intend to follow the law.
I got to say, Malcolm, having covered this case over many, many years, it's just so sad. You know, and you're not, and I get it. You're in an odd position here, but man, I got to tell you, to see somebody, you know, have his son savagely killed by OJ Simpson, and then Simpson attacking him, calling him money grubbing, and then doing everything he can not to pay him, is just one of the most despicable things I've seen in my career.
Well, listen, Fred Goldman has participated in the estate and has offered, through his attorneys, offered some very valuable advice to the estate. So I do intend to ask the court for a substantial administrative fee to be paid to Fred Goldman. That gets the same level of priority that I have, which is at the top. And so, you know, I intend to ask the court to give him a substantial administrative fee on top of that. And then we'll deal with the other issues. I mean, this is not an easy job for me. You know, I thought it would be a lot easier when I took it over, but it is not easy.
I get it. I get it. Look, thank you for giving us some time.
Oh, anytime. If you have any other questions, let me know. But yeah, it's a toxic situation, and nobody ultimately is going to win. But their debt is acknowledged, and they will get the lion's share of whatever it is after I finish paying the statutory fees.
All right.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Coming up.
Nicki Minaj has a huge gig booked at the United Nations. And she is not going to be performing music. She is going to be addressing the General Assembly of the United Nations. How did Nicki Minaj end up in this position?
I think there's a Trump connection here.
Be right back.
Nicki Minaj has a huge gig booked at the United Nations. And she is not going to be performing music. She is going to be addressing the General Assembly of the United Nations. How did Nicki Minaj end up in this position?
I think there's a Trump connection here.
There absolutely is. You remember a couple of weeks ago, Nicki spoke up on social media, said and thanked President Trump for his stance that he had taken on Nigeria and the violence in Nigeria, where allegedly there are Christians there's a Christian genocide in Nigeria. And the president said that we may have to do something about it. And Nicki thanked him. And now, lo and behold, she is going to be speaking at the UN. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz, said Nicki is not only arguably the greatest female recording artist, but also a principled individual who refuses to remain silent in the face of injustice. I'm grateful she's leveraging her massive platform to spotlight the atrocities against Christians in Nigeria. I look forward to standing with her as we discuss the steps the president and his administration are taking to end the persecution of our Christian brothers and sisters.
Those steps are controversial. He's intimated he could even send troops over there.
Yes.
Which a lot of people, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, thinks is a bad idea.
But it's interesting to have, like, Nicki is not really involved in this, but she certainly has a strong feeling about it, and all she does is express it on social media, and you go from that to now you're addressing the UN.
Well, now the question is the Trump administration using her to promote what they really want, which Nicki doesn't necessarily say she wants? That's the big deal.
Well, I think the Trump administration has to be absolutely loving this because let's face it, Nicki Minaj is on a different level than Kid Rock and some of the other celebrities that the Trump administration typically associates with. And as far as Nicki goes, I'm kind of curious where this puts her with her fan base. We know how ride or die her fans are, but they definitely are not all Trump fans. And now she's going to be standing next to Mike Waltz, talking about an issue that a lot of people are not familiar with and seems to have a lot of gray area around as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out tomorrow at the UN.
Well, I think that's a great thing, by the way. Her fans, you're right, her fans are ride or die, which means they will be paying attention to this, and you're suddenly going to have millions of people who are educating themselves.
Or they've taken a position already on Donald Trump, and they're not going to agree with anything Trump wants.
It's not, but they're going to pay attention. They will follow the fact that Nicki's interested in it. They will at least want to learn about it, and I think that's a good thing.
So the question then is, does Mike Waltz then say, well, you see, this is why the United States wants to send troops in there, and then Nicki Minaj is in a tough position?
Unless Nicki agrees with that. which we'll probably find out when she speaks.
What
By the
I
way,
want to see is she going to mention anything about Cardi B? That's what I want.
She's not going to mention Cardi B.
I
She
don't
is
know.
taking it seriously. She said, I do not take it for granted having this opportunity. It means more than you know. The Barbs and I will never stand down in the face of injustice. We've been given our influence by God. There must be a bigger purpose. They're going to be with her. Even if they're using her, maybe it's the end justifies the means.
The Trump administration has an end game with her that she may or may not sign on to.
Hi, it's Carrington from Houston, Texas, and congrats to Nicki Minaj on such an honor. However, I think we should stop mixing church and state. I don't think entertainers should be speaking for the United Nations, nor talking about such serious topics when we're rapping and teasing people on the internet to promote albums.
That's a really fair point.
Influencing people to pay attention to an issue or a topic is different than
Endorsing a
influencing their
candidate.
vote.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Jake Paul, I think, has found a way to shut up all of the doubters, all the people who say that he isn't really boxing anyone, and he hasn't fought a real fighter in his prime. He is now stepping up to the plate in a big way because in just a few weeks, he's going to step into the ring with Anthony Joshua, a man who is not in his prime, but is not like 60 years old like Mike Tyson was. He is, I believe, 36. He is a former heavyweight champion.
A behemoth.
And so much bigger than Jake Paul. This is, you can't knock Jake, you can't say that he's not going against a legitimate opponent.
So
I guess the question's gonna be,
you say it's going to shut up his critics. If he wins, it'll shut up his critics.
If he
loses, it will not shut them up.
If Jake loses, that's what his critics expect to happen. They'll be like, all right, he fought a real fighter.
But then the critics are going to say,
and they'll say,
see, exactly.
Correct. Now, but if he wins,
it's going to be amazing.
Depends on how he wins. Because they're going to be, people will start going, oh, what's going on here?
I think it also depends on how he loses, too. If he takes him the distance against Anthony Joshua, people are going to have to respect that.
That's true.
If he gets knocked out in the first 10 seconds, well, then that's what everyone was expecting.
So what's going to happen here? I mean, I know that you can't predict, but...
And try to be an actual unbiased journalist and not Jake Paul sycophant that Lucas is. Calm down and just, what do you think is going to happen?
Jake Paul is going to impress some people.
He might. I mean, he might.
I'm not guaranteeing he's going to win.
Win or lose,
personally, I do think he's going to win. And I know that's crazy to say, but I do think he's going to show that he is much better than people are making him out to be right now.
How long has it been since Anthony Joshua has fought?
He fought earlier
a few months ago. Yeah. I mean, last year. Like, he is a very active fighter, and now his most recent fight was a loss, but he had 3 straight wins before that.
He fought this year, I thought, when his loss. Was it this year?
Yeah, he fought this year.
How much money is he going to make?
Oh, I think they're going to...
It's not
we
about
don't know.
The money,
oh, come on.
But I would think Jake Paul's going to make over $50 million.
Well, I would fight Joshua for that.
Yeah.
So let's make it happen.
Take one fight.
Let's make it happen. Get this
All right,
guy
let's
in
do
the
a
ring
collection,
right now.
right? Collecting some money.
Hi, my name is Zach Ross. Right now, Joshua has about 25 knockouts, and I'm hoping Jake becomes the 26.
We will see. You never know, that one punch that can land, change everything.
You got a puncher's shot. By the way, you'd have to survive the boxing match to get the $50 million.
That's what makes it problematic.
Yeah.
Coming up.
After Tekashi 6ix9ine turned state's witness, aka Rat, there was a lot of talk that he was going to be, as soon as he got out, that the streets were going to come for him, nobody would work with him, yada, yada, yada.
Didn't really happen.
Didn't happen that way. Although this morning there was a home invasion at his home in South Florida.
Be right back.
After Tekashi 6ix9ine turned state's witness, aka Rat, there was a lot of talk that he was going to be, as soon as he got out, that the streets were going to come for him, nobody would work with him, yada, yada, yada.
Didn't really happen.
Didn't happen that way. Although this morning, very scary incident. I'm not saying whether it has anything to do with that case, but there was a home invasion at his home in South Florida, and he was not home, but his mother was, and 4 men came into the house and demanded to know where Tekashi's cash was, wanted to know where the keys were to his cars. They were there in the house, menacing his mother for...
It's really a home invasion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a home invasion. That's what this is.
Absolutely.
And thankfully, she's okay.
And they can kind of see where he is, because meanwhile, he's streaming with Jack Doherty online. So
they knew he wasn't at home.
So they, sized him up. It doesn't sound like they got away with anything, but at the same time, walking around with guns around your mother is a scary enough situation.
So
the police did show up there. The sheriff.
I know this sounds improbable, but we haven't heard a lot from Tekashi until last week when he went in on Demi Lovato.
Yes, when he's on a podcast and he...
Now, I'm not saying these are Demi Lovato guys.
Demi got the
pretty
goons.
Pretty sure Demi Lovato did not place a call.
No, I didn't say it's her. I'm not saying that.
Lovato gang.
Hi, my name is Kyron, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I believe that when you live a certain lifestyle, then these types of things are going to happen, and I feel really, really bad for his mother. But I do want to add to the point that somebody in his camp does not like him, because those people were walking around very gingerly. They were not in a rush, which means they knew that he was not going to be home. And the street way is, when somebody robs you, it's always somebody you know. When somebody robs you, it's always somebody you know. So they knew he wasn't going to be home, and I hope he finds out who does this. But my suggestion is pick better friends and maybe start to look for a different career path.
Accountant.
Do you think he could make... Well...
Okay, every weekend we put polls up on the website to find out how you feel about things that we covered over the week. We did it this weekend. Here are the results.
All right, so releasing Epstein files. It will happen. It will never happen.
They're going to say the latter. I think people just don't.
They're
optimists.
Confident.
Optimists.
All right.
Next. President Trump will Epstein files release or veto the release. They're going to go with veto. They got to go with veto. And they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Trump's losing his mind over Epstein. Yes or no?
Clearly.
I don't know. It's gonna be the same.
It's going to be 64, 60s. Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Who you got in Kim K's sex tape war? Kim or Ray J?
I don't know.
They got to go Kim.
I don't know.
They're going to go.
Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised.
Because they don't believe her when she says she didn't have anything to do with it.
No one buys that story.
Okay, last one. Michelle drama. U.S. not ready for female president.
Obama. I don't know where you... I mean, there is some drama here. Michelle Obama.
I'm sorry. She's right.
U.S. not ready for a female president.
She's right or no, the right one can win. It is the right one can win. I disagree with Michelle Obama. No. Hillary Clinton almost won. She lost by 44,000 votes. She could have won that election. So it's not because she was a woman. There are other factors. A woman can win the presidency.
You're saying there's a chance.
There is a chance.
A slim one.
There is.
Is that what you're saying?
No, there is a chance.
Coming up.
So I didn't think I would ever say this, but the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills have something in common with Tekashi 6ix9ine, I think.
Home invasion.
Home invasion. Over the weekend, Kathy Hilton and Sutton Strack also were burglarized.
Be right back.
So I didn't think I would ever say this, but the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills have something in common with Tekashi 6ix9ine, I think.
Home invasion.
Home invasion. We just told you about what happened at Tekashi's home earlier this morning. And over the weekend, Kathy Hilton and Sutton Strack also were burglarized. Victims of burglaries, and they were busy. They were at BravoCon all weekend. And I think that's the thing that's the same as Tekashi, in that not only that they were burglary victims.
Totally right. They knew.
They had very public events they were doing.
They knew who wasn't there.
Yep.
But they made a mistake. So Sutton's house burglarized, and the burglars got away. This was about 2 p.m. on Saturday. Kathy's house later that day, and 3 burglars break in.
The difference here.
Rick Hilton, her husband, was in the house,
and he called
911. I mean, that's crazy that he was there. So even though they thought Kathy's gone, it's like, What about the dude?
Right, it's like they forgot that Rick Hilton lives there too.
Right?
Well, and you have to wonder, like, these people are so rich. Where is the security? Why isn't the alarm
That's
system
what everybody's
activated?
wondering. Right. That how does
Well, because Rick's the Hilton was, I think, early evening.
Correct.
And there are a lot of people who don't turn their alarms
turn their alarm on
until
when
they
they're
go
home.
to sleep. They have a huge ass home,
Right.
and so he could be in one part, and they could be breaking in the other part,
Right,
and he
if
wouldn't
you
know
don't.
it.
Brandon, Tupelo, Mississippi. These social media platforms these celebrities have can be life-changing and great. But at the same time, you got to be careful because your Google Calendar is now for criminals to see.
Okay.
I know what you're going to ask,
I know,
Brandon.
but I gotta say,
You're going to say
I gotta say, do you know about Becky Thompson and her husband buying a store in Tupelo? You know what that's from?
I don't know what that's from.
Listen to "Ode to Billy Joe" by Bobby Gentry when the show is over. Okay, you'll love it.
Okay.
And Tupelo is prominently mentioned.
Well, I love that you think that that's now the more famous thing about Tupelo is that song.
Yes.
The most famous thing about Tupelo is
civil rights.
No, it's the birthplace of Elvis.
Bobby Gentry. What else you guys want to talk about?
Jesse Clemens, New York City. Listen, with this whole Trump story, him all of a sudden wanting to release the files, I feel like there's some trickery going on here. I feel like he's doing this because now he can be in control of what gets out, what goes in. It feels like someone that got caught cheating, and rather than become a better person, they just become a better cheater about it. I really kind of hate this whole situation.
He's a worse cheater if you want to use the metaphor, because it's obvious what he's doing here. It's obvious he's just lost his support and he's trying to change the narrative, but it's so clear what's going on, right?
Absolutely. I can't stand seeing it, and something's going to have to give.
There'll be something else, trust me. One more.
Hi, my name is Jose Guzman from Riverside, California. And I think it's so amazing that Britney Spears, Kim Kardashian, and Khloe have this really good friendship together, because I believe that these three, first and foremost, are amazing people. And second of all, Kim and Britney Spears have something in common, and that's two crazy exes, Kanye and then that Kevin dude. So, hey, this is cute. This is really cool.
I wouldn't say that they're great friends.
They're not. I mean, they're not.
I know what you saw, but that doesn't mean that they're great friends.
Coming up.
Tom Cruise was a dancing fool this weekend. He received an honorary Oscar, and the night before they received their trophies, they were cutting it up.
Be right back.
Tom Cruise was a dancing fool this weekend as he was celebrating a huge honor from the Motion Picture Academy. He received an honorary Oscar. He has never won.
Ever.
An actual Oscar.
But maybe, not maybe, strike maybe, the biggest movie star in my lifetime.
Tom Cruise, along with Debbie Allen, also got an honorary Oscar. And the night before they received their trophies, they were cutting it up, man. They're out on the dance floor. I mean, obviously, Debbie Allen can dance. And actually, now that I think about it, we know Tom Cruise can dance
Risky
a bit.
Business.
From, I was thinking more Tropic Thunder.
I
would have never thought I'd seen Tom Cruise dancing to the Isley Brothers, man, but good for him.
I'll tell you,
having a great time.
He is something. He is the biggest movie star in my lifetime.
I'm not going to argue with it, but it's just a big statement.
We will see you tomorrow.